There we go. All right, and we are live.
You're thinking that Sam and I have different backgrounds and missions as well. Let me tell you, we have one thing very much. We got a full form permit.
I just set everything up, waiting for people to show in.
I am sorry that you're all so cynical that you can't accept Sam. Well, it doesn't bother us. We believe in us, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be great. Have a lot of fun. I may have to work a little harder on this one, but it's going to be worth it.
All right, sorry for the delay. Getting started here.
Now, if you will excuse us, we are going to go out.
Here we go.
To get our lives together. There's more heaven and earth than is wrapped up in your business. Don't you think you're going to have to work a little harder on this? Well, I think we might do some.
We'll test to make sure this is showing. There we go. All right. Sorry, I had a little issue with the computer earlier, so I wanted to make sure this is all working again. There we go. All right. So I always like to start the live off with a little bit of an update. So for me, I went live over at the Jack Casino. Had a really, really great time. I think I finally saw we had a little over 11,900 people that watched it, so it was great. Actually got so much that there wasn't anybody really that could join, so people had to leave for other people to jump on. So it was really, really great. It's kind of fun. Hit a snowstorm on the way there, so that was interesting. But it's Ohio, so it happens. So let's go ahead and go with the first update. It's going to be for Vegas, really the only one I have. Didn't want to do a whole long spiel on these updates, but if you do like staying at the Flamingo, Caesars has announced that they will be doing an upgrade to the property. They announced about a $75-80 million update. It's not to the rooms. They're going to be updating the center bar. They're going to be updating their main registration lobby. They're going to be updating their new, or they're going to be updating their the elevator lobbies, the Habitat one, and the one over in the front nearest the taxi drop-off, as well as also revamping Bugsy's Bar. And then some other things they're going to be doing, updating throughout the casino. So I'm kind of interested to see. I saw the renderings of it on Monday when they released it. I think Vital Vegas released that. So looks really good. Kind of, to me, it looks a lot like the updates they did to Havana. So the new bar they have over there, very Cuban, very tropical, still sort of staying with the motif of the Flamingo, or at least the way they're going. I think it'll do really, really well there. Interested when I go back, hopefully in September, I'll be able to see it because it should be completely done. So I'll get some video of that, as well as hopefully by the time I get back, they will have most, if not all, of the updates done for the Cromwell, which is being updated to the, let's see here, Vanderpump. Sorry, blanked for a second. It's going to be the Vanderpump Hotel. So those are kind of the new updates coming out. Just waiting on some other people to join in. Just have a couple here right now. Get this fixed. So let's see here. Again, if you are new, or if you have, or if you watch this later, I would highly suggest that if you do have a TikTok or a YouTube channel, to please go ahead and put a link in the comments so that other people who may watch this later will come across it. They'll see your YouTube channel or your TikTok and start to follow you back and start checking out some of your guys' stuff. Let me see what's going on here. Sorry, having a little bit of technical issues on my end. Okay. Sorry, I had an issue linking between the phone. So my next live event, I'm going to be going back to the Jack Casino. Most likely, I think I said that announcement during my live stream, but most likely it will be the very end, if not the very, very beginning, that first weekend in January. My work is off during that time, so it'll be a good chance for me to get out there on a Saturday, hopefully to get out there relatively early. Probably do a live somewhere around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Going to be very, very weather dependent. So it may be sort of one of those things where I just kind of give everybody just a few moments of an update that I'm going to be going live later that day. I apologize, but I didn't see any snow coming in when I was heading out there the night before, and then I got slapped in the face with a snowstorm. So, but like I said, the event went really, really well. There were a lot of people from all over the world, which is really kind of cool to see. And I have some more content coming out. I did play the new Huff and Puff We've Had Enough game. Didn't think I would like it, but I actually kind of ended up liking it a lot. Did okay on it, but I kind of liked it because of the game mechanics of it. It's very much kind of like Cash Falls in a way. You can get the hats, and if they land on a reel, you have 3 spins to go. So 3, 2, 1, and if you do end up getting all the hats in a row, it locks it, and then it's sort of like the normal game. So you can still hit the 6 hats to trigger the game. In a way, it's kind of odd, but if you've ever played Huff and Puff before, and you can get 3 hats in a row and then nothing else. Well, this triggers that mini game. They still have the buzzsaws that trigger a separate game. So I liked it. I thought the line pays were low, which would be expected because of high volatility it is. Just whenever they do a new iteration of a game, and you've got 2 or 3 different new bonuses, you've got 2 or 3 new symbols. The game makers have to change the math in order to make it work. Night, wife's going to bed. So, and what I mean by change the math is they leave the base code the same. So, but what they do is they diminish line pace. So that way you can overall keep the same math for that base game, and then they can manipulate the rest. So if you play the very, very first Huff and Puff or the Huff and Even More Puff, where it's just got the wheel, you'll notice that the line pays are significantly higher, meaning, you get a certain symbol on all of the reels. You might get on the newest game, you might get 10 cents, 60 cents maybe. Whereas if you play the first 2 versions of the game, those are your bet back and even more. So that's kind of how that works, just if anybody was interested in learning how that kind of works from a math standpoint. When you actually look at the par sheet of the game that was out there from a few years ago, you could see that. So, but that's a new one that I liked playing. There was also a new one I just did a video on, which was Blast. I can't remember the name of the game exactly. It was a pirate motif. They had 2 sort of hot air balloons hanging out, and it was a 60-cent bet, and it's got the reels. But if you bet $1, so not double your bet, but $1, you get to play both sides of the reels, and as it drops down, there's a bonus symbols, and then there's also these little cannons that drop. And if the cannons drop there, then there's an outside reel of symbols from your grand, major, mini, etc. And the cannonballs can shoot across the screen, and they bounce against the symbol and go up to a meter. So a little bit sort of like Fast Cash in a way that as they hit, the meter goes up. But so you got to be careful, because even if it looks like it's almost there, it really doesn't mean anything. It's when you click the button, the game decides that your spin is a major, you'll hit the major. More often than not, it's a mini. Remember, again, they try to weigh it to the way where everything is possible. Even hitting the grand is possible on a minimum bet, but your chances of hitting the mini are so much higher because the way you think of it is you have 1 grand out of 100 balls. You've got, 2 majors, three minors, and the rest are all minis. So that's why when you hit the button and it spins, you're more often likely to get the mini because there's just so much of them. So, on the Wheel of Fortune spin, the same thing. The slivers all look the same as they go around, but in reality, because of the weight behind them, your other slivers, your $20, your $10 are like this big, and then the larger numbers or even the grand number are like this, just a little bit. So you got to be careful when you play those. I got drawn into it a little bit. Still ended up doing okay on it. Actually did really, really good at the casino during my life for, I think we did an hour and a half. It ended up actually coming out, broke completely even. So the only thing was I lost 200 when I was playing for bonuses, getting other things because while I was there, I was waiting on them to clear the roads and salt. So if I could have physically left the casino like I wanted to, I would have left even on the day, which if you're at a casino for an hour and a half, 2 hours, especially filming like that, and you can leave even, that's a huge win. But unfortunately, I stuck around and there was nothing to do, but I had something to eat and there was nothing to do but gamble. I mean, you couldn't leave. So, because the roads were just absolutely horrible. But all in all, I think still take that as a win because the event went so well. I still have about 5 or 6 more videos to come out. So hopefully you guys do like it. And I'm always open to suggestions. So I would like to try to spend a little bit more time on newer games. So obviously if you miss this chat and you have some suggestions on a newer game you'd like to see, I will do my best to find it. The Hollywood Casino doesn't have anything new at the moment. Caesars had the new Buffalo. I forget what it's called. It's got the 3 meters all the way up to Mega. I did play it a little bit, but I only put about $30 into it because if you play Buffalo, especially play the newer, the Buffalo Links, the Lightning Link Buffaloes, the Buffalo with the bonus meter, it's kind of like that, except for the more numbers you hit, it can either trigger your typical one, like an upgraded one, or the Mega, which is a different bonus. But again, I mean, I saw one lady hogging 3 machines, so just playing all 3. So the bonus meters really don't mean anything. So I would always probably just on those new, especially newer games. That's why I want to try to find some of those new ones like that balloon game where I did make a short of it, but I wanted to actually put out the full 10-minute play just so you guys could sort of see just how long the game was. There was another game, excuse me. There was a new game that came out. It was it's a lumberjack game. It's made by Blueberry. It's a new one. It's got the 3 little groundhogs sitting there, or beavers sitting there. I played that for a little while. Didn't really film anything just because I put about 40 into it and didn't really hit anything at all. It's super, super hard. And it's when you sat down, even a decent hit where you got the chainsaws all the way across, it gave me my bet back. I think it was like 80 cents. So give me my bet back plus 5 cents. So definitely my suggestion is when you're playing a game like that and you get 5 or more of the premium symbols, not your ace or jack or 10, but your premium symbols, and you're noticing your line pay is maybe your bet back, that tells you're on something super high in volatility. So that's the one where you're swinging for the fence. You're hoping that bonus comes, and that bonus is really, really good. Because if you're wanting some line pace to sustain you, they're not going to be there. Move on. Trust me, move on. So put a budget on that. I usually play $20, $30 on those, and then I'm up and I leave. So I'm going to try and find some newer games. Hollywood, like I was saying, they don't really have anything new. But usually, typically at Hollywood casinos around second to third week of December, I've noticed, is when they kind of come out with some of the newer games that actually hit. So I am hoping, I would like to play the new Huff and Puff where it's got the 3 different symbols. That one I haven't played yet. I have another video coming out of the Piggy Banking Breakin' with the 3 different colored pigs. That one's kind of growing on me. It's still super, super hard to hit the bonus, which is not uncommon for piggy banking. For anybody who plays piggy banking quite a bit, you know this. So I would like to try to keep playing it because I just feel like there's going to be one of those times where I'm not going to expect it and something big is going to happen. So I'll probably keep trying to play that. What's another new one I want to play? Again, I've mentioned it before. I want to play the Sir Mix-a-Lot game. I'm not expecting that to be in Ohio anytime soon. That's probably something that I'll see if I do go to Vegas again before my September trip. My work may be having a quick little trip out there for the Paving Expo, but I'm not sure. So that's one I'll look for. But that's a game I either will kind of go off and be really popular, or it'll be something relegated to a couple of downtown casinos. They'll launch it on the Strip for about a quarter, and then it'll just slowly disappear. So, but I would like to get my hands on to try it. So please, by all means, feel free to leave your comments here, whether during this, which will probably be going on for another 20 minutes or so, just in case we get some more people in. And then if not, then leave them in the comments later. I am starting I just did the first video. So of the Fuck It 50, that's where I typically put $50 in a slot machine and just sort of play a little bit higher. I think the last time I played was about $250 bet. So not extremely high, but anybody who watches my videos knows mine is really, really high. Hey, how are you guys? I was just talking about piggy banking. They have 2 really good videos on piggy banking. They went on a run that I hadn't only dream of playing piggy banking. It was like bonus, couple of spins later, bonus, go a little bit, bonus. Something I have never been able to handle on that game. It's usually me feeding $100 into it and just praying I get a bonus or 2, and then just praying that I break even. But they really killed it on that game. So that's a fun game to play. They have some really great videos, especially look them up the same name on TikTok as well. They have their slot thought of the day, and it is fucking amazing. It's like the funniest stuff ever. Yeah, piggies. We're just waiting to see if anybody else pops on. I know a couple other people from TikTok were going to be joining in, but I also know Sundays are a little hard, so I may do a poll here as well as on TikTok to see if maybe this is something I need to move to a different night just so that everybody can jump in. But you're going to hear me ramble for a few more minutes at least, just sort of giving out some more updates and stuff. But those are the new games I did end up playing. I did like I said, I like that balloon, treasure balloon, whatever it was with the hot air balloons. It was really fun. And then we'll try to see if we can find some other ones. Excuse me. Sorry. StreamYard was freezing for a second. Here we go. But anyway, so those are all the updates. I'll let everybody know when I'm going back to Vegas if it is sooner than the September trip. I typically do like to go during the holiday over in September, that first or second Monday when it is the holiday, just because that affords me a couple extra days that don't use up any vacation time because not working. So my plan now is, again, I like to plan my Vegas trips at least 6 months in advance. Probably going to be staying over at Paris. Just because I've enjoyed Paris. I like the rooms. I like the open casino, and it's extremely close indoor walk to Horseshoe, where they have that high limit room that I like because they still have 2, at least they did, 2 double top dollar machines, the 3 reel that are $1 denom, 3 credit max bet. So If you do like the high limit room, because you do typically get really, really good fast service, and if you are a top dollar fan like I am, it is getting harder and harder on the strip to find that. So that is a fun one to play. If you like the 2 credit version, there is still 2 machines over at Venetian and one at Palazzo, at least when I was there, where you can still play top dollar and double top dollar, $1 denom, 2 credit max bet. So, 3 credit top dollar. Yep. Yep. My casino has a 25-cent 3 credit double top dollar, so I can do a spin at 75 cents. That's actually where my icon came from with the double top dollar. I went in with $15 in free play and hit the 1,000 credits. So that's why I put my icon there, because it's one of those unicorn hits. If you do play top dollar, that everyone wants to at least once hit the 1,000 credits. Yes, I would have liked the 1,000 times 2, but I'll take the 1,000 credits. That was a pretty good hit for double top dollar. Anyone who plays that knows that is an extremely rare offer to get. So, I'll also probably, what I think I want to do as well is do a poll on what everybody's favorite slot machines are. I want to try to do maybe, this will take me a couple months, so I might try to do maybe everyone's top 10 or 15 machines, and then kind of go through my resources that I have in Vegas and sort of map out where those machines are, so that as they sort of check here or check there, they can see, oh, I really like this machine, and oh, he shows there's 2 over here, 1 over there, and it's $1 denom, or it's a 25-cent denom, or it's a $5 denom, because the worst is running into, I was trying to find Pinball Gold, and one of my buddies who knows the bartender at MGM, Park MGM, said that they had just put a couple of them in, ran over there, and he didn't tell me what denom it was, and it was a $5 denom, so it was way too much for me to even try to attempt to play it. $1 denom, I'll play it, but at 9 or 10 credits, that goes fast. There's no way I was going to attempt that on $5. No way. Not unless I'm massively up. And last couple of visits, I have not been massively up. So I'm going to play it a little bit more close to the vest, play a little lower, try and make sure that my time stretches. So I'm not going up to my room at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then trying to fall asleep. But yeah, so that's something I'm thinking about doing. If there's anything else, obviously, if there's any type of, hey, where can I eat cheaply, things like that, feel free to leave me comments as well, or you can send me messages, especially on TikTok. Send me messages directly. That whole area, I mean, I go 2-3 times a year, so there's a lot of super cheap places that either no one really talks about a whole lot. There's also some other ones that people always talk about, but you should probably be a little more careful of. Yes, Tacos El Gordo is great. Tacos El Pastor, which is right down the road from it, is a little bit of a better option in my mind. There's a little less, just because of where it's at. It's less busy, but I've always found that it tastes a little fresher. It could just be me, but that's just sort of one of those things where it's just literally just a block, if that, away, and it's, in my opinion, better for basically the exact same price. So, but that's something I'll try and put together. I'm trying to brainstorm a couple of different things to put on the channel or put as a community post so that everybody sort of has an update on anything. So if you guys do have ideas, please feel free to let me know of anything I may be missing, anything that maybe I haven't fully touched on and that you have questions on. Like I said in my previous live, I don't have all of the answers. Again, I'm just going off of my conversations with the past hosts I've had, a couple of friends who have been casino slot techs, as well as one who's a slot manager. Isn't anymore, but known him since high school. So, and then just sort of my past 20, 25 years of playing in the casinos. So, I try to give you guys information I have. If I learn anything new, I pass that along as well. I'm joined. Well, I've been watching for almost a year now a couple other channels on YouTube that do a really, really good job of explaining stuff better than even I could. So I've tried to embark some of that information over here as well, just because it's the more you know, the better you're going to play, the smarter you'll be overall. So it's good. But that's kind of where my channel came from. Was just a way for me to be myself. Hopefully people like that, as well as to give some information and try to shoot down or put down any misinformation out there, because there's a lot of really bad information going on. I'm going to probably be doing a video here next week. I'm still editing some stuff, so I'm a little backlogged. But definitely want to touch on the rise of some of these social casinos that you really, really, really have to be careful of. A lot of them with the sweepstake coins. There are a couple of online casinos that are not BetMGM or Caesars or Golden Nugget that are actually pretty good, that do have regulation. So I will obviously not throw them under the bus, and maybe I even put a video on them as well as a caveat. These are ones you should be looking at playing, because they do have some regulations, because it is within the certain states that you can play. One of them actually has an expansion of another 3 or 4 different states that do allow their version of it. So you do have that added security of a federal and state regulatory body that they report to and have to give their information over to, so you feel more secure than some of the others that are hosted in Moldova or Bulgaria or one of the Cayman Islands. So those are the ones you definitely want to stay away from, especially when you're watching some of the ones that are just floated on TikTok, which still blows my mind that I did a video literally today of I reposted some of my older videos from my YouTube back to TikTok, because my first TikTok got banned at about 1,300 followers. So, and all it was is, what slot machines should you be playing? That's it. That's all it was on what are good, what's high volatility. If you've never stepped foot in a casino, are you going to win, or at least try to win, because you don't go to win, but are you going just for comps to try and stay active? While banned it. Literally the second I posted it, they banned it. I did fight the appeal and got it about 2 hours later, but it's funny how TikTok is super cracking down on that. But for all of us who watch a lot of slot videos and gambling videos and Vegas videos, you get hit with 400 Chumbas, a bunch of some of the other ones that come on, and for some reason they're allowed to post their stuff. So those are the ones that I'll do an explain more of a video on it. So that way I can leave some more information on that. But those are the ones that you want to stay away from, just as sort of the long and skinny of it. Again, be very, very wary of any ad whatsoever. Again, this goes sort of general in life. If someone's trying to get you to sign up for something, or they want you to try something, and the first thing they're showing you is a massive $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 win, and they go, hey, I'm just sitting in my car and I hit it like nothing. I'm just, my friends are talking to me and they say, but you can't win anything. And look, I just hit 10,000. It's just nothing more than what you see on Instagram and some of the other places where people will just try to get you to sign up, and they're going to make money off of your sign up. So that's all they really care about. And they're allowed to show that. I mean, Jason or Mr. Hampay did a great video about 2 months ago where some of these specific casinos reached out to him and said, hey, we want you to play. We're going to give you all of this free play. And in the video, you actually hear them say he's going to be not able to tell them he's playing with their money. They have to, and that they play those players on special servers so that their wins look a lot more massive than it normally would. They didn't go into any specifics on the difference in RTP or how they calculate that, but it's basically just we're going to give you a whole bunch of free money to play. We're going to put you in a server that's probably higher in RTP, so you got more of a chance to hit a massive hit. So all of your people who watch your videos are more likely to spend their money here at this casino. So that's kind of the gist of it. Excuse me. So if you don't learn anything else from this video, is just please be careful. I would always say never gamble online at all. It's a super slippery slope. I do it every once in a while with BetMGM, but I do that more for sports betting just because I want to keep my comps with MGM decent. So I only get to gamble at MGM maybe once a year because the other times of the year I'm either downtown or staying at Caesars property. So I want to at least throw them a little bit of a bet here and there, like in the nothing big, $50 here, $50 there, just to keep my comps active so they can see I'm still spending money in their ecosphere. So I'll build those comps back up and then stay again at MGM. Probably won't stay at them until 2027. It's going to depend on my comps, but by 2027, Aria should be mostly done with their updates. So it'd be nice to see what Aria does with their property. They're beginning their full room upgrades as well as some other minor upgrades to the space that used to be the Chase Sapphire Lounge that they opened up earlier this year. So it'd be nice to see what they do with that property because it is one of my favorites. So overall, that's what I want to try and get a hold of. I'm sort of hoping that one of these days these lives will take off when it's just us talking because I'd like to be able to hear what you guys want to play. I'd like to hear what your questions are. I'd like to sort of build a nice little back and forth to where we're trying to figure out what casinos we could be at. If you're playing somewhere that's not Vegas, maybe it's AC, maybe it's down the Gulf Coast, maybe it's out west, maybe it's Lake Tahoe, Laughlin. That's one I do want to go to. Is I want to get out to Laughlin at least once or twice. Reno, like to try some of those out there as well. And then I definitely want to hit up some of the casinos in Indiana. There are some really, really nice ones out there. They're run by the Boyd Company. So definitely this year coming up in 2026, I'm going to do a little bit more of that type of travel. Probably over the late May on that holiday, I'll be heading over to Joliet, Illinois, to stay at the Harrah's in Joliet, so I can sort of see what their facilities are like, and then mainly so I can film as well because they have one of the few Diamond Laurel lounges still open. You can have that. Laurel lounges that where you can still get free food and free drinks like you used to before COVID. So it'd be nice to sort of see one of those. I've never been in one because I never played Caesars until after COVID. And most likely I'm not going to be able, might get lucky enough, but I'll probably never be Diamond Plus again. So I want to obviously take advantage of that. So, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up. Hopefully one of these videos will take off and we can do this sort of back and forth for a while. We had a really great one a couple of weeks ago. Effing Up was here. Thank you so much. Annie was in here. We had a couple other people going back and forth. So if it does seem like this is one of the ones where you guys may need, or maybe it just works better to do it on a different day and a specific time, let me know. I'm always open to change things up just so that we can all hang out together. It doesn't necessarily have to be you guys come in when I'm filming. But if not, I'll try to catch your guys' lives, jump on them all the time, say hi and watch for a little bit. So, like I said, one of these days it'll take off, and we'll have all the blast in here, everybody going off and just sharing different stories. It'll be a really, really fun day. Might start switching up to a more of a sort of theme of the live versus just you guys hearing me ramble for half an hour. But we'll see. Again, this is just sort of one of the few ones of me introducing myself to the community. And then hopefully we can start building a little bit of an audience here to just sort of hang out have fun. We don't necessarily have to talk slots or Vegas. We could talk anything. Hopefully everybody has a good night. If you are in the Midwest area, buckle up. It's going to get cold for a couple of days. So hopefully everyone stays safe out there. And we just have a few weeks till Christmas. So be careful out there Christmas shopping. Stay warm. And I will try to see you guys all again next week. We'll do another one same exact time. But again, please leave comments if this time and date doesn't work. I've got more of consensus from everybody else saying, hey, I'd rather do it here and then I'd be no problem changing that going forward. So, well, everybody have a good night. Again, thank you so much. Effing up. Thank you for jumping on. And again, I know I said that earlier in the post, but check them out on YouTube as well as TikTok. Like I said, they had some really, really great videos on there. They also play some 3 reels too. So if you are a fan of the older style 3 reels, but still on the new S2 cabinets, so it looks nice and new and bright, those are some people you should absolutely watch. So everybody have a good night. Thanks again for jumping on. If you jump on later, like I said, please feel free to leave your comments as well as your likes and as well as your channel information for, YouTube, for TikTok, so that anybody else watching later can also sort of go through there and see you guys as well. All right, well, you guys have a great night, and I will see you next week. Bye.